and not let it rotate into a half-court game where Duncan can take great advantage of the low post game. The ACC standings show that Wake Forest again is stalking another title, having won back-to-back tournaments. Remarkable coaching job by Odom. They're 17-1 overall, and Maryland, one of the pleasant surprises of this year. Mike Woods is our lead referee. He'll work alongside umpires Sam Croft and Curtis Shaw, and we're ready to go. Maryland controls the tap. This is Stokes, the point man. Brings it up, and let's see now how many touches they get, Dick, before they get into their offense.
Well, this guy can shoot the ball. Yes, the Cabbages had a big game against Wake in the first meeting.
There's the first miss, and into the freshman. That's the big change with the starting lineup for Wake. Their own twin towers now. 7-1 Woods out on top from St. Louis. 6'10 Duncan down on the inside. So with the two of them, it has really given them some muscle down low off the glass.
They're going to start out with Booth playing against Woods. Gives up a lot of size, but Booth a very strong player physically.
There is the turnover. Maryland bringing it down now. You would expect a few nerves here in the early going, then it'll settle down.
Plano Grant, the one thing against Wake Forest is you don't want to play 5-on-5 and have to face Duncan and Woods. Teams shoot 33% against Wake.
Booth comes back, pulls the trigger. Foul up over the top on Maryland, the first personal of the game.
What you said a little bit earlier is so true. Maryland's got to make this game a transition game. They got to beat the big guys up the floor. Here comes the full court press.
And you can see how Wake Forest is going to attack it. They brought them in right back here to the mid-court line to help out some of the big fellas. Rutland pulls the trigger, misfired. Duncan is going to track it down, though, and give them a second offensive set. Knocked away from the freshman Woods and out of bounds. Wake ball.
Rutland and Braswell really become key in this game. Rutland shot 1 for 9 from three-point land. Davey Odom, one of the underrated coaches in America, and Gary Williams has to be a leading candidate for National Coach of the Year. You said it earlier, the biggest surprise in America.
You can see Gary over in the background of your picture. As part of the Maryland bench. He works every trip.
Both coaches so fired up before the game.
This is Duncan, takes it for the three. Misfiring, Wake starts out cold.
They'll allow Duncan to shoot that perimeter shot.
Maryland ball. I'll tell you one thing about Keith Booth. There's one of those do-everything players in the college game. You may never see him make it big in the NBA, but at the college level, he's someone who can really spell the W for you, Dick.
Brent, I think he's going to make someone's roster. Never be a star, but as you said, he's just an all-everything player. He plays on the defensive end, he rebounds, he can post inside. Comes from a great high school program, Dunbar, down in Maryland.
These two teams to get over their early nerves. Knocked out of bounds by Booth. Wake ball under their own basket.
You know, both clubs are really so fired up emotionally. They really, it's a reflection of Gary Williams. And watch Duncan trying to post inside. Now look how they'll double him up. See, as soon as the ball goes out, that's respect, baby. That's what I give you, all kinds of respect.
Likewise, partner. McKeesey was down in low. Peral is fouled, and he will shoot a pair of free throws. So Wake works its way to the free throw line.
If you look at size, it's very difficult to get good matchups. You got Profit played against Peral. Peral much bigger size-wise, but Profit so quick. This kid is a tremendous shooter. He's got great touch.
Gone almost 2 minutes. And finally a point.
Wake Forest is a kind of team with their style, Grant. They'll keep you basically in the game. They've had so many close games in the ACC. Recently winning by 3 over Clemson, 3 over Florida State, and 4 over Virginia.
Last trip down the floor, Booth was trying to find Jasikevičius when the ball was knocked out of bounds. Jasikevičius lit him up in the first half down in Winston-Salem. He's number 13, young man from Lithuania. He can stroke it. This is Profit. He beat him at the buzzer. Controversial.
Nice pass.
Working inside. Akizi's all alone.
Akizi's one of the most improved players in the conference. At 21 against North Carolina. He has really trimmed himself. He's cut now like our producer, Kim Belton. I mean, he's got some body.
Wake attacks the pressure. They pull up with the jump shot, and Braswell hits it, and it's a 4-2 Wake lead.
Well, that's a change of style. See, they're going to attack the press rather than just bring it over the court and get into their half-court game. He made the open shot.
Jasikevičius missing for all. So there's a Lithuanian missing, and a Spaniard pulling it down. The great growth of basketball internationally, worldwide. It's really something to see. And here is Peral, high off the glass.
He's got the size. See, that's an Eminem mismatch size-wise against Crawford. Peral goes inside post. Duncan's an excellent passer for a big player as well. Very poised.
Booth doubled up. Coming in low, and he traveled.
You know what created the travel? The size. As soon as he thought about psychologically the presence of Duncan, he walked with the basketball.
Yeah, Dick, anytime you penetrate against Wake, you have to be mindful of that with the two out there on the floor. I think it's going to make it very, very difficult to deal with come tournament time.
No question. That's why they're one of the contenders to win it all.
Miss on that offensive rebound.
Got to get numbers.
Just got Profit on the right, went high for him, and it was not a good pass, was not a good feed, and they're lucky to get it back.
Exactly. Should have given a little bounce pass, got the layup. They had the numbers, they had the layup. They were doing exactly what they wanted, to beat Duncan down the floor.
Profit nails the first three of the game.
You got a return on that Profit right there. LeRon Profit knocking it down. Oh, and he hit that shot to beat them. This campus erupted. 54-51 in that first matchup.
Dick, Wake needs Rutland to come alive here in the backcourt. Working against Stokes. He must have a better game than he did down there at Winston-Salem. Offensive foul against Carroll. Maryland ball.
Both teams really playing well defensively.
Put it down as a turnover. We'll take a break. 6-5.
It's a classic ACC matchup as Georgia Tech faces Duke, Louisville battles Temple, or Arizona takes on Washington. It's Payne Weber College basketball tomorrow on ABC.
Hey, Brent, we're going to see the Duncan factor right here, number 21, the best shot blocker in college basketball. Now look at him. He's in the lane. He's anticipating. Now here's Booth wants to take it right at him. He takes it, but he's anticipating. See, he sees Mr. Duncan, and he immediately shuffles his feet. Does the Booth shuffle right there.
You know, both teams are tough against the field goal percentage-wise. They're holding their opponents to under 40%. But keep this statistic in mind. Rebounds. Wake already with 4 and Maryland with 2. A huge size advantage in this game. Profit missing this 3. Duncan was maneuvering for position, and it's going to go against Maryland.
You know, amazing in the first matchup, Maryland out-rebounded them 40-34, and yet you look at Wake Forest, they have a plus 8.2 rebound margin on their opponents all year long.
And it was the next game that Lauren Woods moved into the starting lineup for Wake Forest also.
Yes, they were really upset with the kind of productivity they were getting from Sean Allen.
And Allen has checked in. He is the first sub off the Wake bench. Over and back. They force another turnover, and Odom is upset over there on the Wake sideline.
Baby Odom has not been happy with the play of his guards. I read an article recently, and he shared it with me. He said, let me tell you something, my guards came back when all the students were on campus. They lost their focus. When they were away and it was Christmas break, he said, my guards were really focused. They got to step it up if we're going to be a national championship quality team.
His guards have turned it over 3 times. Profit's now 1 of 3. Akizi's fouled by Allen. Allen commits his first personal.
They're going to have to get some shots for Yesikavages, who's an excellent shooter. Look at Akizi. Now, this guy has gotten so much stronger. He has really worked on his game. He met his idol, Hakeem Olajuwon. He told me he was so thrilled to meet him.
Now, that missed 3 is the 6th 3 that Maryland has attempted. But Profit comes back battling big time for the offensive rebound and the score.
I'll tell you, a great offensive rebound by Profit. He's been up and down. He's got to be a consistent player. He's got that ability. He's had some major big games, and he's had games where he's absolutely been missing in action. But he's a kid with a lot of ability. In fact, his teammate was telling him yesterday at practice, his roommate, Terrell Stokes, he says, hey, LeBron, you got to step it up. You got to come to play.
Hey, Dick, did you ever see a Gary Williams coach team that didn't bring effort to the dance?
Oh, that's his personality. He has effort. He's the 3E man. Effort, energy, and enthusiasm.
Got it all, doesn't he, partner? 7-6 right now. He's also got a 1-point lead. Wake brings it up now, and they're going to have to protect the basketball. Duncan comes up high.
See, Duncan's got to start to get a little bit selfish now and start to look to score. He's got to step it up. He's going to have to think offense a little bit more because they are really locking up on the other 4 players. Look at Profit now. The aggressive play comes out of Delaware. There he is on the offensive rebound. Takes it right up at the big guys and scores.
Knocked out of bounds by Maryland. Wake inbounds under its own basket.
See, their philosophy right now is to play Duncan one-on-one with Akizi, and they want to shut down the other 4 players. That means Tim Duncan's got to make himself available. Well, he got fouled in there. He got fouled. You got to call that. Oh, he fouled him. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, Obina. Don't cry about that one. Watch this right here, Brett. Even a blind man like me could see. Look at him. He's hugging him. Are you serious? I mean, that's a mugging worse than in Times Square. Come on.
The mayor of New York, thank you.
Oh,
Braswell back out on top now.
Crime is down in New York. I want to get that across, too.
Mr. Giuliano now, thanks.
Police are doing a great job there.
Here's Allen, right side, no travel call, and Kesey picks up another quick one here, and that's going to hurt him. So he gets into foul trouble, and be mindful, there's not a lot of depth at that spot for Coach Williams.
Especially size. You don't want to lose size against Wake Forest. Take a look at Kesey right here. Oh, I thought he had all ball right there.
No, I thought he got his arm as he was coming down, Dick.
Yeah, I thought
missing at the free throw line.
I thought there was a walk-in violation prior to the foul.
It could have been as Elliott comes in, and now Kesey with the two personals sits down. Rodney Elliott from Dunbar High School in Baltimore. He was an outstanding high school quarterback.
He's one of the best 6 men in college basketball right now. He's averaging like 10 points a game, and he's really been hot the last 3 games, 14 a game.
Hands full now. Stokes sends it back to Booth, off the glass.
I don't think he planned it that way, but they'll take it. Good 2-man play, a little curl move up at the foul line.
And the foul is on Stokes in the backcourt. Terrell Stokes, their point guard.
From Simon Gratz High School, played for Coach Ellaby, outstanding high school, played with Rasheed Wallace. We saw him against Missouri here. He had 12 assists, played brilliantly last year.
Interesting what Odom is doing. He's getting reserves in early, getting him in the rotation. Joseph Amanet has checked into the backcourt. Goolsby's over here. He has seen playing time here in the early going.
Yeah, 2 experienced guards. Amanet can shoot the ball as well. Playing like 3 guards right now with Rutland, Goolsby, and Amanet.
Allen with a lot of touches since coming off the bench. Back to Goolsby, in and out. Duncan tries to control it. It's taken away by Elliott.
I really believe Tim Duncan's going to have to assert himself offensively here today to Wake to win.
Jasikavičius is fouled by Rutland.
They got to get shots for Duncan. He's being played one-on-one. He's going to have to really assert himself offensively.
So that's coming up next, the European Figure Skating Championships on Wide World of Sports, and also more coverage of the Winter X Games. You'll see some snowboarding, and then a Wide World Classic revisit Evel Knievel as he tries to make it at Wembley Stadium over 13 buses.
Wow, he really came short on that one. Jasikavičius played high school basketball in Pennsylvania, played with a guy by the name of Johnny Miller, transferred from Temple, now at Clemson.
Comes back with that one.
He looked like your shot right there. Nice stroke, rotation.
But you get more practice tonight.
I was bricking him today, I have to admit it.
Into Duncan's hand, 3-point Maryland lead here in the early going. 13:41 now in the first half.
See, right now you got to go to Duncan. He's being played by Elliott. You got to take advantage of him. He's got a world of ability.
Away from the basket. Over to Amanet.
What makes him so special, he is unselfish. Now he's posted inside. Get him the ball.
Goolsby comes back with the 3. Wake's going to need this. Duncan was muscled out that time by Elliott. Good rebounding position for Elliott. Great pass to Booth. Oh, send him to the line.
That's what they want to accomplish. They want to get in transition. Their feeling is we can't beat them 5-on-5 because of the great play of Tim Duncan defensively. We must beat them before Duncan sets up. Now see here, they got the numbers. They got the angle, they kick it out. Now Booth's got to take this up and score, but he gets banged. Here he comes in transition. Stokes can really dish the rock. There's the 45-degree angle, but there's the contact before he releases it.
Dick Maryland's on a 9-1 run here with their leader stepping to the free throw line. They're up by 3 points.
Averaging 19 points a game from Baltimore. That was a great breakthrough when they were able to get Booth, because a lot of people made it tough for Gary Williams to go into Baltimore, but Keith Booth admired and respected Lenny Bias so much that he wanted to come here and play at Maryland.
Braswell returns now, and that means that Rutland will be given a break, and Braswell will move over to the ball.
He hooked up with a 1-2 combination with Jammin' Joe Smith, having a great year now at Golden State, who would have been a senior here.
Early 10-1. Here's the pressure after the made free throw, and they create a little helter-skelter here.
Maryland was so brilliant with their press in the first meeting, jumping out, as we said earlier, 28-9. And then when halftime came out, in 3 minutes, a 12-point deficit went to a +4 for Wake Forest. They ripped off 16 in a row.
There's the turnover. Stokes has got it back to Booth. Strokes the J.
Got to make the little open shot. He has become a big star. They better be able to attack this pressure. This place is heating up, baby.
Don't want to fall out of this early. Back now to Duncan.
He walked.
Odom's going to get a 20 now. He has to have it here. He is back 14-7. Been outscored 12-1 over the last 4 minutes.
Watch the steal. They lob it up over the top. Poor pass. Now look at Stokes with the great vision, the peripheral vision. He kicks it to Booth. Booth puts the dribble. He's a medium-range jump shooter, knows his strength, and knocks it down. And look at Gary on that sideline. He's been preparing for this game from the moment they lost to Florida State 74-70.
And this pressure defense, Dick, has forced 5 Wake Forest turnovers already, and Maryland has turned it over only once, so big discrepancy there.
You know, Brent, a lot of people ask me, why is this team a better team now than last year when they had 4 seniors? Very simple. They were selfish last year. They were playing for individual goals rather than playing as a team. This club has great chemistry, that magical word we talk about.
Duncan has gone 8 minutes scoreless.
12-1 run right now.
Prophet gets to the glass. This quickness, these smaller men are getting in on the inside against Wake. With Woods back in there now, and they're dropping back in a little 2-3 zone. That's what he likes to show. About 7.5 minutes into their game. And Booth comes up firing. Rattled out. Now here's Duncan. Duncan runs the floor very well for a big man out of St. Croix, the Virgin Islands.
Somebody better tell him they got Tim Duncan, the best player in America, on the floor, and get him the basketball. They're going to get him the basketball.
Need to get him into that scoring column.
Yeah, get it down inside and let him go to work.
Here he comes. In the key, tried to get the foul on Booth, and the second Prophet picks up the personal.
Look at right now, this conversation. Rutland and Braswell really having a conversation here. Braswell saying, you got to go over here, you got to go over there. They're pointing, a little confused. Now look at Booth right now, putting a body on him physically. Look at Booth trying to deny him the basketball. Doesn't have the size. Not going to try to beat him to a spot. Now he's muscling him. They're going to double up from up on top. I tell you, they're playing him really tough. Man.
Well, his only shot, Dick, was a 3-point attempt. Now he misses at the free throw line, so he is still scoreless 8 minutes into this game. It's 14-7. That's not going to continue.
He's capable of getting on a big spurt. Had 33 here last year when he beat Maryland, and that was his career high. Derby Odom's got to be concerned. Struggling handling that pressure and struggling getting the ball inside to Duncan. 2 things that cannot happen, but he's only down 6.
Well, they were unable to get the crowd out of this one early. They're alive here in the Cole Fieldhouse.
Well, they go to the zone now, so yes, the Cavaliers got to get some shots.
Badly missed, but Booth was there, tried to put it back, and the foul against Wake.
I'll tell you, Booth is really working. You talk about a kid that's given it all today. He is really working. There's Jesse Cavaliers with a little miss from the wing, and Booth's going to come from the weak side. He's going to take it right up strong and draw the contact. What a great high school program he played at. They've produced so many great players. We've talked about it. Muggsy Bogues, Reggie Williams. Goes on and on. The list, David Wingate. The late Reggie Lewis. I mean, it's unbelievable what's come out of that school. Down in Dunbar and Baltimore, Maryland.
Give you an idea of the effort being exerted by Maryland, although Booth disgusted that he missed both of them. There's the jump ball, the possession arrow favoring Wake Forest. But to give you an idea, Dick, Maryland has 5 offensive rebounds. That's just effort and hard work against a bigger Wake Forest team. Timeout. Maryland with the lead.
The men's title is on the line at the European Figure Skating Championships. Next on Wide World.
Счастье победы и агония поражения.
This the critical moment, the final shot that spelled victory for Maryland. Great pass coming up by Booth. He'll spot Prophet as he's being triple teamed. They get it across, but was there time left?
Well, remember, in college basketball, it doesn't end with 0-0. The clock has to be on. He lets it go. It's one of those almost impossible to say no. Some people said that Freddie Barricat's people, the commissioner's office and the head of referees broke it down, but you had to break it down into almost slow-mo to be able to determine if the clock and the red light were on. So it was a tough call for the officials.
I like what Duncan said. They said it was good.
It was good.
Here's Woods back in there with Duncan, popping out on top right now.
See, Duncan's being played by Booth right now, so you've got power against size.
Rutland.
Oh, that's big.
The three. There's the shot they've been looking for. That smooth outside stroke, and it makes it 14-11.
That's big right there. He gets that to go down. Remember, he was 1 for 9 from three-point range in the first matchup. In fact,
Matt Kravaric is in, Dick, for Maryland.
Yeah, he's a good ball handler, Kravaric. Gets good spacing against that zone.
Staying at the perimeter against the big trees down on the inside. Finally, it'll be Booth who will attack the glass. Misfiring. And Woods over there to help Duncan out.
That's one of their goals today. They want to take the ball right at the big people, especially with Booth and Keesing when he's on the floor.
Now let's see if they can get some of the big people involved offensively here.
Trying to get a little high-low with the two big guys.
Terrell's pretty good size himself. He goes about 6'10", and it's been turned over.
5-second violation. If you hold the basketball, the 5-second count goes into effect. If you bounce the ball, it does not.
That's the 6th turnover by Wake Forest in this game.
Now here's Duncan now going to try to post inside. Now right now, you got to give him the ball. Right now, you got to drop it into him. I saw that with Danny Fortson the other day, who's been declared out of the lineup for today's game against the Ball. He and Ruben Patterson as the soap opera continues.
You know, Booth is not shooting well here, Dick, so far. He's 2 of 7. He didn't shoot well down there, but he did rebound well. Great drive by Yasikevicius. Whoa, he put it on the floor and took it off the dribble.
He really went to the basket with authority, and like I said, that's one of the goals. He goes a half-court trap. They're trying to get him a half-court trap.
Now Duncan, he's got to come up right now. Rutland off the fake. Gets it back to Braswell. Rattles out Duncan with an easy putback off an offensive rebound.
Yeah, good inside position. He's had a tremendous year this year. He's really been sensational. In the first meeting, he had 26, 13, and 9 blocks.
16-13, sitting there in that 2-3 zone.
You got to have patience against that zone.
Perfect.
They're attacking the big guys. They're bringing the ball right to the basket. Excellent ball movement.
Steal. Booth will go for the deuce.
Oh, yes. Uncle Mo has arrived in College Park, baby. Uncle Mo. They're changing their defenses. Look at the intensity. This crowd is in it, baby. Greatest environments in college basketball are in the ACC.
Duncan sends it in low to Woods' left hand.
He's going to be special, Brent. 7-1, comes out of St. Louis, was a teammate of Chris Carrawell, who we'll see tomorrow with Duke when we go to Cameron Indoor Stadium. And that place was rocking like you couldn't believe against North Carolina.
That was a great college basketball.
Oh, super game.
Maryland sticks at the perimeter. Elliott ships it to Stokes for 3.
I'll tell you, if he starts knocking down threes, it's going to be a beautiful afternoon here for the Terp fans.
Maryland still attacking that basketball. Rutland comes up.
Oh, he got fouled.
Hey, he's got the 3, and he's coming to the line.
Silly foul.
Chance for the 4-point play.
A silly foul, Brent. A silly foul right there. Oh, he's like 20 feet away from the goal. Knocked him down. Give him a 4-point opportunity. Take a look at his foul. He releases the basketball. Rodney's got to know better than that. Knocked him to the deck. I mean, I saw that right in front of me with my one good eye. I couldn't miss that, Brent. I couldn't miss that. I mean, he knocks him right down with the right hand. Curtis Shaw right on the court.
Gary Williams didn't miss it either. He's got Elliott over on the bench next to him. Booth down with a missed free throw, 23-18. Stokes goes to the glass.
Oh, they're beating him in transition. Quickness, quickness, beating him in transition, and that was their #1 priority.
Braswell. Short. Loose. Gets it back. On the inside. Knocked free. Wake ball, Rutland.
Well, they had Duncan. They missed him right there. Should have got to one step.
Here he comes. On the turnaround, foul. He'll shoot a pair of free throws.
That's 3 on Akese.
That's 3 on Akese, and it's huge.
That is big because he's been playing so well on the inside, getting better and better. Obina is one of the most improved players in college hoops. I mean, here he is trying to deny him. Now they get the ball in. He plays behind him. Now he's going to get help from the top side. And then there's no question. No question. He knocked his wrist.
3 fouls on Akese with 7:43 to go in the first half. You can jot it down. It could be a big moment here.
Hey, Brad, have you seen environments like they have in the ACC? I mean, they're so special. Gene Corrigan, one of the classiest commissioners, retiring. He does a phenomenal job. He's got to be proud of the kind of enthusiasm at his different arenas.
Profit pull-up. Into Duncan's hands.
See, they had a 3-on-1. That was a good opportunity right there. First phase of their transition game. See, right
now it's Woods, a freshman. Spins, comes baseline. Up with the right hand. Battle underneath, won by Wake.
They got to be really happy the way they're controlling Duncan thus far.
Now Duncan backs him down low. He's going to come up. Offensive foul on Duncan is the call. His first.
Great call by Mike Woods. This is the first time all year I have seen Tim show a little frustration. Here he is going in deep. He wants to take it to the goal, but he's going to bump him. Makes contact.
Well, even with Akese's foul trouble, Maryland doing a very good job in the paint overall.
Yeah, they're really doing a great job trying to keep the ball away from the big people. Woods inside is going to be one of those special players, can use either hand. Let me tell you this about Wake, though. You talk about, as we look at the points in the paint now, Maryland with that edge, way to taking the ball inside. But you look at Davey Odom, they got a lot of character. They were down 9 to Virginia, 13 with Florida State, 18 to Maryland, yet they've always been able to respond.
Profit out of bounds. Maryland ball touched by Wake. But then again, let's not forget that Maryland once was trailing North Carolina by 22 and was able to...
I was there. Mike Patrick and I could not believe it. 14 minutes on the clock. I don't think the Tar Heel fans were able to believe it that day.
Inbound Booth looks at the arc. Lost it.
Yeah, he was taking a one-on-one challenge there, trying to face Duncan. Got to move the basketball.
It's only the second Maryland turnover. It's an 8 for Wake Forest. Duncan attacks the glass. Finger roll. Knocked out of bounds by Maryland. Wake ball.
Simple screen and roll using a high post screen.
Well, that's the college basketball tomorrow. We'll head on down to Duke to watch Georgia Tech at Duke.
Yeah, one of our favorite places. We'll be at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Duncan. Profit goes for the rebound, and it goes over.
Tim Duncan right now, everybody's choice, player of the year. Would have been a first choice, they say, in the NBA the last 2 years had he come out. They got to get him the ball just a little bit quicker, because once they wait and stare, defense anticipates it.
Booth on the inside again. Duncan down with another rebound, 25-19. So even though Maryland's off to a positive start, Wake certainly has not lost contact in the early going. Hammond off a fake, gets inside the arc, going to send it back now to Paul, and he travels.
Ricky Parole, a really good shooter, averaging 8 points a game. Was one of the premier three-point shooters in America last year. He's got to get a few more opportunities. Good defensive player. He really played tough defense. Davey Odom, when he took his team out to Utah, and they beat Rick Majerus' club.
It is very hard to get an orderly offense going against a team coached by Gary Williams. There's so much disruption. Now maybe they can hit the layup on the breakaway. Rutland goes on in. Missed it. Yesikavich on the inside, and it is against Wake. How about that moment?
Yeah, the defensive pressure was applied by Stokes in rotation. Defensive transition, an excellent job. There's one of the underrated coaches in America. Back-to-back ACC titles. If they win it again this year, the last team to go 3 in a row, Dean Smith, North Carolina in 67, 68, and 69. And let me tell you this, Dean Smith can flat out still coach. So many of those critics that have jumped on his case because they're 3 and 5 in a conference, they better get a life, because that man is a teacher. He understands the game, and he communicates and gets great respect from his players. Very simple, their problem.
Jumped on?
Well, some fans, everywhere you go now, fans are jumping on him. It's ridiculous. It's absurd.
I mean, That can't surprise you.
Well, the one problem he has is very simple. It's spelled ACC. The conference is so tough, the best conference
It's
in America.
amazing it hasn't happened before.
Well, see, nobody jumps on you, though.
Well,
and they never jump on me. Oh, those critics, they bury me. They bury me, Brent. I'm only having fun. Tell them to take it easy on me. There's Davey Odom. Look at Davey Odom. Look at Davey Odom. He's doing a little dance. He's doing a little dance for us. Look at little Davey. Look at Davey. Now Gary's not going to give him an edge. Gary's not going to give him an edge. He said, look, watch out, don't step over. You don't want to get a technical, Davey. Stay in that box.
Duncan hits Goolsby here with a 8-point lead now, 27-19.
What a wacky profession, huh? Coaching, what a wacky. I was probably the wackiest of all time, but I was lucky they didn't have television like they do today.
Oh, we can't believe that, can we? There's another turnover for Wake Forest. That's their 10th turnover against this crusher Maryland defense.
We are seeing an excellent defensive job by Maryland in their half-court game as well. Look at Booth. Look at him putting the forearm right on him. He's bodying him up. He's using his strength because he knows he doesn't have the size.
Stokes runs the floor. Out on top. This is Elliott. Missy.
He's been 30 for 45 in his last 4 games.
And a foul going to go against Maryland. Reaching in on Amonette that time. And that is Kovarik.
I can't look. Look at Kovarik's face. He's like, who, me? I committed a foul. I don't think anybody ever commits a foul. Hey, Brent, we talk about them coming back. What about them? As a team, you know who was coming. There's a team. Last game, Gary Williams got ejected. Be careful. Stay careful, Davey Odom. Be careful. He's talking to his assistant coaches, trying to calm him down. Ernie Nestor. You don't want to sit in the locker room, Davey. They need you on that sideline. It's a big game. It's a big game. Look, Tony Rutledge says, Coach, take it easy, Coach. Look at him. Look at him. Histrionics. I mean,
well, he clearly stepped out of the box, didn't he? I mean, he'd come up to the table.
I think he came up to the table after. We slammed the table. I tell you, that's what coaching, that's his profession. The intensity, the emotion, such an emotional game. Gary got ejected in the last 24 seconds and they lost to Florida State. He said he was yelling something at Prophet. See, here he is going to bang it. He's showing unsportsmanlike conduct. They're not going to take that.
What was he so unhappy about that time? He got the foul against Maryland.
Why are coaches unhappy, Brent? Why are coaches unhappy? I don't know. You ask me such tough questions. Look at him. He's still working that sideline. Remember, the next one, he takes a bye-bye.
Well, it's a 7-point Maryland lead. Stokes brings it back down now for the Terps.
There's a double dribble call he was upset about, and the foot, a little foot fault like in tennis. Well, if he gets ejected, go down to the White House and say hello to the president. Maybe take a tour. Make it educational. Wake Forest, a great academic school. Go down there, bring it back, a little history lesson.
You are one of the great name droppers that I've ever worked with.
Oh, me?
You got President Clinton involved in it. That's the first one.
He's got to be very frustrated, Davey Odom, with the way his team has been playing here today. Their execution has not been anywhere near what they have really demonstrated all year. And it starts with guard play. We can talk all we want about big people. You better get solid perimeter play. Just call Bob Huggins and ask him down to Cincinnati.
Now it's against Prophet in the backcourt. Foul Rutland. Up over the limit.
I think
that's his third.
I think the Zebras right now are trying to send a message. We're not going to allow a lot of contact and a lot of physical play. Let's play basketball.
There are 2 Maryland players now with 3 fouls apiece, 2 of their starters. Prophet joins. Kesey over there on the sideline is Sharuna Shesikavicius. Checks back in.
Maryland's got a 7-man rotation, basically 7 really solid starters. And they're sitting on a pine right now, Profit and Akezi, and they certainly he doesn't want to see him there, Gary Williams.
So with that 10th personal here in the first half, here comes the second free throw at the 5-12 mark. Wake down by 8, 30-22, 5:10 to go in the first half.
Right now, if you're Maryland, you want to get a little spurt. You want to go in at halftime and have this crowd really in your corner and have momentum.
Booth comes up firing, and he'll work his way to that free throw line.
I'll tell you, Brad, he's an excellent post player inside. He's so physical and so strong. He's playing with so much confidence this year. Last year, they had all the names, the Johnny Rose, the Simpkins, the Hips, and yet they didn't respond. Just shows you when you play together and you got a cohesive unit and everybody going in the same direction, got your priorities in order.
The old-fashioned way, the three-point play for Booth.
And here comes the 1-2-1-1 pressure, a little diamond press, looking to trap on the first pass. Good man-to-man defense. Ball pressure, a lot of pressure on the ball.
Duncan has it stolen, and Booth will go for two, and this place will explode.
Hello! Gonna get it to you, baby, and he did. This place is rocking here in College Park.
Biggest lead of the game for Maryland. It's 35-22.
On days like this,
It's a 13-point advantage.
We're going to see Booth in a one-on-one defensive move against Duncan right here. Takes the ball out of his hands, and here goes Mr. Booth. He says, Mr. Duncan, you may be the player of the year nationally, but today this is my home court, baby, and today I'm going to be the star of stars. There he is. Look at him turn around. He looks. These Terps are sending a loud message, Brent, that they are definitely no fluke. They are flat out for real.
And it all starts with this Maryland defense. It all begins right there with Coach Gary Williams. Giving up 2-3 inches of man in this game. He's dominated down in the paint. All sorts of mistakes for Wake. Allen has it, and he is fouled.
You know, you talk about mistakes. They have taken the turnovers and have gotten 10 points with turnovers. If you look at the points in the paint, 2-to-1 ratio right there. And that's hard to believe when we're talking about Duncan and certainly talking about Woods on the interior. This conference is so tough. You never get a cupcake. Next week we got Virginia against North Carolina, and the coaches were telling us today they thought the best point guard in the ACC was Harold Dean of Virginia.
Out of bounds, Maryland ball.
I think those are the top conferences. I'm not a computer. I got the Vitalis Ball Dome. And I'll tell you, Conference USA is rated in the computer.
Bob Knight promised you dinner if you rank them ahead of the Big 12.
Well, I'll tell you,
you're putting Kansas down there below the Big. How can you do that?
No, but let me just tell you this. Wait a minute now. We're going to have time to debate this.
Turn around.
You got to go top to bottom. You got to go top to bottom.
Well, we'll do that on the way to the airport.
Yeah, today we got 4 hours to kill.
3:56. Evan misfired on everything into Booth's hands. Look at it. Pass is a beauty. Oh, what a pass by Booth.
They are putting a show here today. They're getting all their goals accomplished. Get in transition. The crowd is into it. The pressure's into it. Oh, it is unbelievable here, baby. This is Maryland basketball.
Timeout.
Payne-Weber College basketball on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Aleve, all day strong, all day long. U.S. Navy. Navy, let the journey begin. And Wendy's delicious spicy chicken sandwich. It'll make you feel warm all over.
Payne Weber believes the best investment is an investment in education. They salute Ricky Peral, a scholar athlete of the game, and congratulate him. Payne Weber recognizes that commitment to education with a $1,000 donation to Wake Forest for ongoing research. Payne Weber, you can't lose with an investment in education. Ready to go here with Maryland leading Wake Forest 37-23. 12 turnovers for the Demon Deacons and only 3 for Maryland here in the first half.
And they've been able to take those turnovers and convert them in offensively for layups.
Down inside on the paint, Maryland has gotten the job done against 2 of the taller players in the ACC, Duncan and Woods. Now Duncan is out there alone.
Yesicavage's a little fadeaway jump shot. Now they change the look of the press. They go to a 2-2-1. Throw the ball over the top of it.
Got numbers, Duncan.
Nice pass. See, if you're Davey Odom right now with 3 minutes, 2:54 on the clock, you got to play right now and hope to get a little spurt, to get a little momentum, to go back in maybe under 10.
For them, it would start Dick at the defensive end, but Maryland has been able to successfully penetrate. Elliott steps out and traveled. Now they can put together back-to-back field goals.
He definitely took a step back, and he lifted his pivot foot. Good call by the official. Yeah,
One of the things that this big lead does for Maryland right now is with 2 fellas with 3 fouls, they can sit over there and get some minutes and get into that second half without coming back. Good ball movement here by Wake, but Maryland's so quick defensively, they just simply attack the ball.
See, right now, you got to come to the basketball if you're Tim Duncan. You got so much size over Booth, and they got to want to get him the basketball.
This is Goolsby, the 3.
Oh, that's big. That's a big 3 right there by Goolsby from the perimeter.
That's 5 unanswered now.
This game's not over. I don't think people believe this game is not over.
There's a scoop with 2 minutes to go. Sharunas missing, knocked away.
During the break, I had fans behind me yelling, "We're blowing them out. This is over. They can forget about it. This baby's not over." I got to go give them a message, Brent. Let me go give them a message. I'll be right back. I want to go tell those people.
While you do that, I'll remind everybody that Bill Murray is coming your way tonight at Groundhog Day. Who makes you laugh too? There's Whoopi. She'll make you chuckle a little bit, starting at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on the network tonight.
Oh, Whoopi's one of my favorite. I mean, you talk about chuckling, and there's Bill Murray. I'll see him at the ESPY Awards. There's Mr. Yesicavages. Sarunas with that little fadeaway jumper, Lithuanian. Really loves it here, told me today. And I'm going to get back to you about the conferences. We're going to battle about that. The Big Ten from top to bottom. Sure, Kansas is super, but my argument isn't that. My argument is the RPI ratings rated Conference USA 8. And there is no way in the world with Cincinnati, Louisville, and you talk about Marquette, and you talk about teams like Tulane. Are you kidding me? 8. I put them number 4 with my ball dome.
What does that have to do with the Big Ten?
Well, the Big Ten, I can give you that. We can battle that. It's like Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays. I like Willie, you like Mickey.
You are a wonder of wonders. Inside of 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
I love Mickey too, but I thought Willie was just a little bit better. Stay tuned for John Saunders. I love him at halftime. Nice.
They turn it over again now.
He's trying to pass too much. He's got to look to shoot.
Maryland will take some seconds off that clock.
So you want to use the clock, manage some time, take some time off.
Who's going to attack down the baseline? Good pass. Kavarik. Jump ball. Possession arrow favors Maryland.
See, now here's why I hate the rule, and you hate the rule. They make a good defensive player, the kids at Wake, and yet Maryland gets the basketball. And the alternate possession. They're going to bring it out. Look at Booth, really working hard. Going to take it on the baseline, kick it off. He dishes it. Now we're going to see right now the defense rotate over.
39-28. It's an 11-point Maryland lead. Coming down to 1 minute, 5 seconds now on the shot clock. Stokes has got to find an open man. Kavarik will go for it on a runner. Got back to rebound.
Nice pass. Great pass. Nice. Oh, what a pass. Oh, you anticipated that, baby. Sarunas. Look at these fans. This Cove Fieldhouse is electric today.
Goolsby tries to answer with his 3rd 3, and he does.
I'll tell you, he's been keeping him in a game. He has really been a spark off the bench. Had knee surgery earlier this year in November.
And with that 3, the lead is down to 10. Just what Coach Odom and the Demon Deacons needed here.
Gary spreading the court. He's going to take down the clock. Open it up, a little dribble penetration, and maybe a little dish.
They better keep an eye on Mr. Booth. He has been so active when he attacks the glass. They're bringing it down to 10 seconds now. Inside at 10.
Well, Stokes wants to take it to the basket. He wants to beat him with dribble penetration. There it is.
He does. Coming on inside. Beautiful call.
Oh, what a great play by the little guy. Yes, sir. Maryland outstanding in the first half. They get an A+, baby.
And Maryland is 14-0 when they're ahead at the intermission.
And they've won 14 in a row in the afternoon with the sun shining.
So the Terps with 43 points. Lead Wake Forest 43-31 at the half. John Saunders is coming up after these messages and a word from our ABC station.
Payne Weber College Basketball on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Boost, the perfect snack for imperfect people. State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most. And for leading-edge technologies in electronic and electrical engineering, depend on Siemens Precision Thinking.
A 9-0 run to start the second half. And remember game 1, Wake at home with 16 unanswered points to start the second half. It's been done on the inside. Wake is 4 of 6. Maryland 0 of 5, Dick.
You know, Brent, there's a reason Kansas and Wake are number 1 and 2 in America. Kansas was down 14 on the road, came back against a good Texas Tech team, and you see character, and that's why these teams are rated very high, and Wake's got great character.
They got to bring it over to the other side. They've got 3 fouls on Booth, and he's on Duncan right now. This time the freshman Woods will come, and he's fouled. He'll be shooting free throws.
I'll tell you, they're taking the 2 twin towers, putting them on a post, and they're just jamming the ball inside.
There's 4 fouls on Akese watching from the Maryland bench, and that is a huge statistic in this game. He's the big body that they must have against someone like Duncan down low.
Well, especially with his improvement. I think he's the most improved player I've laid on eyes this year. Obina Akese had 21 against Carolina, 18 at Florida State.
That's a nice stroke for a 7'1". Is he going to be special? You told me that we were going to like. I haven't seen him.
Oh, he's going to be special.
I'll tell you what impresses me, Dick, is that he can play the game with both hands. I mean, the left hand that he's shown us a couple times going to the glass.
Very special. Yeah, very effective with either hand.
Now Profit attacks for Maryland, and it's blocked by Woods, the freshman from St. Louis.
I'll tell you, he just snared it out of the air. He snatched it.
And did not knock it out of bounds. Duncan comes up jumping. Not there. Snapped away by Maryland. It was Profit, and Maryland still looking for his first points of the second half.
Yes, the Cabbage has got to start looking for his shot as well.
And there is Peral inside. He fouled Profit. That's his 3rd personal.
See, what's happened also, it's made the crowd a little quieter. It's taken away the great 6th man because they got a great 6th man here. This crowd is very alive, very much behind their Terps.
It's a 1 field goal game. Deep to Booth now, 16 in the first half. Spinner inside, works his way to the free throw line.
I'll tell you, he does a great job inside, taking the ball to the basket, utilizes a number of moves inside. He's got moves inside. Remember years ago, Notre Dame, Digger Phelps had Adrian Dantley, a kid where he used to post up inside. He was unstoppable. 6'5", just like Booth.
Dantley, what do you think? Dantley a little bulkier than Booth, Dick?
Oh, Dantley was such a big-time scorer. I mean, he was a much better offensive player, not to take anything away from Booth. But Booth, you know, comes from a great family. Dante Bright, who started from Massachusetts, was his cousin, and they played together at Dunbar. Hey, Mass is coming on. What about a salute to James Bruiser Flint? They've won 5 in a row over good competition.
So Maryland scores its first points in the second half.
Full court press. Now here they go. Let's see how they handle it.
By 4. Trying to force some turnovers. They get across court now to Goolsby, who's helping out. Woods runs the floor with him and sets it to low block. Duncan's on the left side. Duncan on the fake, puts it on the floor against Booth, comes to the glass, got it back, and now he'll come to the free throw line again. not stop him now?
See, what's really interesting now, as opposed to the first half, he was thinking passing that first half. All of a sudden now, he says, you know what? They need me to score, and I'm going to flat out show everybody I can score, as he gets into triple threat position and drives. And by triple threat, I mean he faces, he can shoot the jumper, he can pass, or he can drive.
How would you like to have your only flaw be the fact that you're unselfish?
Isn't it unbelievable? He's such a beautiful kid, and you know what people forget, Brent? He's only 20 years of age. Yeah. He is younger than, you ready for this? Kevin Garnett. He is younger than Kevin Garnett, who's had 2 years in the NBA, and is certainly going to be headed to be a superstar.
Nice stroke at the free throw line.
In fact, I would like to be Clem Haskins, Stephon Marbury, and Kevin Garnett are younger than guys starting for his great Minnesota team.
Yeah, 45-43 here. The Terps with a 2-point lead in the ball now. And here's Elliott coming to glass. Chance for the three-pointer play the old-fashioned way.
The one thing they talked about yesterday when I was in the office with Gary Williams, he said, we are going to challenge their big people. We're going to take the ball right at them. And here's another example. Rodney Elliott, who's 30 for 45 coming into this game in his last 4 games with that good fake. He takes it right at Woods, protects the ball with the left arm.
3 fouls on Woods.
I'll tell you one thing Maryland impressed me with. When they lost the lead against Wake, when they ran 16 in a row, they still hung in and won the game. That was impressive. That showed a little heart right there.
Easy to cross-court pass.
Maryland,
brings the ball up. Willsby has played all the way in that backcourt instead of Roswell here in the second half for Wake. Rutland now drops it into Woods.
Look at the size
difference. Booth is on him, and now he gets help from Sarunas on the double, and Willsby will come to the baseline. Overfired, but Duncan with the rebound, puts it down, comes to the glass, goes after it, loose. Here comes Stokes, one-on-one. Stokes going the distance.
Oh, score the basket. Score the basket, Brent. Score the basket. Yes, good call. Look at a great crossover by Terrell Stokes. And then he shows the ball. Now here comes the interference. Look at this. The little guy from out of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Simon Gratz High School, teammate of Rasheed Wallace. See, I don't like the way he plays with the ball. He spins in, he plays with it, but it goes down.
51-43, and Maryland with an 8-point lead. Remember, Wake had reduced the margin to 2 at one point.
I'll tell you, you talked about responding. They responded when they lost the lead at Wake, and now they respond again. And here comes the crowd again. Hello, here they come.
The trap on Rutland now looks for an open man. It's a cross-court to Brawl. Here's Duncan. Everybody helping out. Braswell on the floor. Up high, can't get the bounce. The tap finally.
Oh, wave it off. Wave it off. It was on the cylinder.
It counts, though. They did not wave it off.
I thought they should wave that baby off.
5.
You can't interfere with the ball on the cylinder. Internationally, you can. Not here.
Everybody arguing. Booth comes back with the J, missing now. Knocked away from Elliott. He regains control for Maryland, and the foul is going to be against Wake.
Hey, Brad, take a look right here. Now, you tell me you got 2 eyes, Brad. I got 1. Let's watch that baby bounce around.
Good call.
Let's watch. See right there. He can't touch that right there. Hey, the Virgin Islands, they could do that. They can't do it here.
I thought it was on the other side where the call was.
You like that, huh?
You're right.
You like that. 1 eye. Not bad with 1 eye, huh? Not bad.
Good one. Good one, guys. All right. Ball is
fine.
bumped by Sarunas. Sarunas Jasikavičius. This is the only guy whose name has been changed since the season started. Did you notice that?
I didn't know that.
Sarunas in the media guide had it pronounced one way, and the release has it another.
Wow.
And you know, the players on the team, Dick, they don't mess with any of us. They simply call him Rooney.
Rooney, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. I like that. I'm going to call him SJ.
Rooney is the teammate. That's what the teammates refer to him as.
See, I think this kid's got to get more shots in their offense. He's got such great touch. He's got long, long arms. academically outstanding, so he's got great IQ, 3.0 student.
He's from Spain. That back Duncan going to the glass that time. And it's Wake's ball.
I'll tell you, if there's any doubt that Tim Duncan's an All-American, it's being removed here this afternoon in his second half. And this guy, anybody that doubts this guy can coach. I mean, last year he caught some heat at the end of the year because a lot of people didn't think that team achieved what they should have. This year with no expectations, projected to be 8th in the conference by many people. It's been one of the great surprises along with Colorado and Xavier in America.
Wake Forest with 6 offensive rebounds this half. Ball with a miss, and there's number 7. And the putback is for Allen. Sean Allen checked in. He had been a starter until Woods picked up that spot, and it is a 3-point game. This is a very uneasy lead now for Maryland.
Yeah, especially with the presence of a guy like Duncan who can change the game immediately.
Stokes passed up the 3, fired down on the inside. Elliott missed. Ball out of bounds. Wake's ball. Elliott had an opportunity,
but it's never an easy layup. With the presence of the big guys on the inside, on the interior, every shot becomes almost a struggle. Davey Odom with a masterful job that he's done at Wake Forest.
Duncan puts it down, attacks. Oh, the way to Braswell.
Oh! But you know,
there's the home run from the corner.
They get the home run, as you said. They get the trifecta. We got a tie game, Mr. Musburger.
Deadlocked at 51.
We're going to take a look at Duncan. Now here comes the rotation from the help side. Look at the high riser, Mr. Booth. I'm going to tell you what. You got to scoop if he doesn't make somebody's roster. He will make someone's roster in the NBA. He's a player. We can forget about size. He's just a tenacious competitor.
Well, more basketball coming your way tomorrow. Dick will visit one of his favorite houses.
Oh, I love it.
Indoor Stadium. Georgia Tech and Duke. Blue Devils will be favored, coming off a great win over North Carolina. Louisville, Temple, Arizona, Washington next Saturday. Virginia at North Carolina.
I got a feeling we're going to see North Carolina really step it up in the second half of the year. I really believe that.
Booth trying to step it up. Gets it back, his own miss, and puts it in. What a splendid warrior he is.
He is that exactly. Great term.
Now Braswell gets it up into the attack here at the corner. It's a 2-point lead for Maryland on the Booth field goal. And they drop in. Duncan will go for the tie. And the foul is going to be called on Allen. Offensive foul. After giving it up, he was pushing his way into the glass.
Davey Odom really learned the trade at the 5-star basketball camp. He ran that camp for Howard Garfinkel. Talked to Garf this morning. He's all pumped up. I know he's watching. He says, say hello to Mr. Musburger. So I'm saying hello from the Garf.
Hello, Garf.
He was down there for the Carolina Duke game. He's a guest of Mr. Krzyzewski.
Stokes positioning the offense up here. Braswell sticking with him.
Double
the fellow they got to watch. Attacks beautifully with a... And what a play.
What a great drive. I'll tell you, taking the ball to the goal. Keith Booth showing he can utilize either hand. That was a set play off a double stack.
Braswell to Duncan, and the foul is going to go against Maryland.
I just reflected mentally here, thinking about when Lefty Drizel arrived, and they called this the UCLA of the East back in 1970. I saw Lenny Elmore, who does a great job for us at ESPN as we watch Booth there with the left-hand drive, was honored here at halftime. Lenny had 25 rebounds once they game here. Came out of Power Memorial High School, played with Ed Searcy, Jack Trimble. Want to know any more about him? What are you laughing at me?
That was a pretty good team, partner. Duncan now at the line.
I'll tell you, this guy is so big. I told you earlier what our buddy Jim Simpson said, one of the original signature voices for ESPN. He lives in St. Croix. He said all the games are on radio now in St. Croix, all the Wake Forest games.
And it's a 2-point Maryland lead.
Typical life for the ACC. Almost every game is a barn burner. Even when you look at Herb Sendik's record, they got to be the best team of all time to be 0-8 in the conference and lost so many heartbreakers.
staying outside. Duncan defending him.
Nice pass.
Wow. And jump ball. But the possession arrow favors Maryland.
See, there's again another reason. I could give you so many reasons during the course of a game why that rule is totally unfair. That rule should be wiped out. They make a great defensive play, Davey Odom, your kids, and they get penalized. The ball goes to Maryland.
Elliott off a fake spin move, left side off the miss. It's Duncan.
Duncan is showing he is the man. He is showing he is flat out right now the biggest player and the best player in the ACC. That's asking a lot for Steve Booth to try and play him at 6'6".
Elliott's got him.
Now Elliott's trying to check him.
Not going to come up over Elliott. Misfired and into Booth's hands.
Now they rotate Elliott to him. Nice pass.
And foul against Wake.
Nice little bounce pass. Elliott had to step to the basketball. They've been rotating Elliott and Booth on him inside. Gary Williams started his career coaching in high school in Camden, New Jersey. Learned a lot from Dr. Tom Davis up in Iowa, where he's doing a heck of a job. He had a Jersey swagger to him. I was teasing him. I said, "You awfully cocky." I said, "I didn't see that last year." He said, "That's my Jersey swagger, baby." 17-3. I guess you can swagger any way you want.
I don't know if Bill Parcells has that jersey. So I want to tell you, a nice pick on the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, I knew you were going to bust me on that. Hey, Parcells scenario, here it is. Ron Earhart will coach. Ron Earhart coaches the Jets, brings all Parcells' assistants. He does it for a year, and then Bill takes over the Jets. There it is. Want the scenario?
Oh, mercy. We got it all down now, don't we, folks? 56-53. Terps with a three-point lead here, and the Demon Deacons with the ball.
Burrell, good passer from up on high at 6'10".
Goolsby is fouled. No doubt about it. Kavarik banged into it. Kavarik really agonizes over some of these calls, doesn't he?
I know. It's amazing. Plays a lot of contact. He's getting some playing time coming off the bench. Just a solid, good role player. Look at that agony. Look at that agony. Wide world of sports. The agony of defeat. Look at this agony. Oh, the agony of defeat. Now he goes on the sideline and he rests. He becomes an assistant coach. He says, "Okay, coach, I'll come now."
Goolsby can't make him pay.
Nice pass. Nice pass.
Beautiful two-man game coming down the floor.
Yeah, Rudy is really playing well.
That was Kelly Height of Maryland in the game for the first time because of Kavarik's foul, and Height hit the layup.
He got out in the break. Height did a great job running the court. Now look how focused he is defensively. Listen to this crowd.
Barral knocked away by Booth. Foul against Maryland. And is that on Booth? No, it is not. It is against Elliott, his third.
They were trying to get a little high-low action, getting the ball down inside to Ricky Barral. Barral at 6'10". You talk about three giants. You look at Barral at 6'10". He hesitates up in the air. Oh, it looks like raw ball, Brent. Where's that foul? Where's the foul?
Elliott sits down, and Akese with 4 personals returns for the Terps.
Wow, with 10:48. Whoever he is guarding, I would attack. In other words, whoever Akese guards, I'd go right at him.
It's not fast enough. I don't think he come out the perimeter, is he, Dick?
Well, the bottom line is I can't see him checking Duncan now with 4 fouls and play Matador defense.
58-54, 4-point Maryland lead. Terps with the ball. Booth has had a magnificent game. Sends it back now to Stokes.
Stokes has done a great job also handling the rock. He's only had 7 turnovers in his last 3 games.
Gives it back up now, and Height tries to give it right back to him, and they've turned it over.
Yeah, he should have shot the basketball, trying to make that one extra pass.
This is Height's first ever ACC game, we are told.
What a way to step in and get a deuce to the first minute on the floor.
There goes Duncan. Easy's got it back away. Comes up, he's got it, and the foul.
He's got so much agility and mobility inside. Those long, long arms.
And that is the 4th on Booth. So now both Booth and Akese playing with 4 fouls.
And Elliott on the sideline. And Elliott's on the sideline. Look at the head fakes. He's got great head fakes. You know, when he plays on the NBA level and you spread the court and it's more one-on-one defensively, he's going to be so effective and tough to handle, especially if he plays a power forward slot.
Exactly. Well, it's a one-point game now. They've overcome that 12-point halftime deficit. 58-57, timeout. Well, it's a very uneasy lead right now with Booth, the leader of this Maryland team, saddled with 4 personal fouls. Kesey trying to hang on with 4. And Elliott with 3. Kavarek's picked up 4. There's 11 team fouls against them here in the second half. And so Barry Williams has to go real deep into his bench. Watkins has checked in. He's playing in the backcourt now along with Stokes.
Watkins, a transfer from out of Notre Dame. Came here, trying to give him some minutes off the bench. He's got some size.
Kesey bumps down in low.
I'll tell you, he's got a little shake and bake on the inside. He's got some moves. We have not seen it today because he has 4 fouls. Now watch him inside when he catches the rock down in deep. Here he is, catches in post position. A little shake, a little move. He said yesterday he was so in awe. It was like shaking when he had a chance to meet Olajuwon, his idol, as he's from Nigeria. He said, and Hakeem, he told me, invited him to Houston this summer to work out a little, and he's going to go down there. Hakeem, one of the great classy acts in the NBA. I used to love calling his games when he played with Phi Slamma Jamma with Clyde and Glide, Drexler. Our guy, Jimmy V, beat them for that national title. Jim Valvano, 1983. Oh, do we miss Jimmy V.
Rutland across the timeline here. 9:45 and counting. 60-57.
Well, Rutland and Braswell today are 5 for 11 versus the first time when they were 3 for 20 between them.
The 2 Twin Towers are in there. Woods on a hook. Goaltending the call against Watkins.
I'll tell you, Woods really is impressive. He is just getting a feel. I think it's a smart move. Not to take anything away from Sean Allen, but I think it's a smart move playing these 2 guys together. Now you have experience coming off the bench with Allen, who has a great attitude. Said, I will do anything to help the club.
Maryland now with the ball and a 1-point lead. This is Watkins sending it back now to Stokes. Good fake. Sarunas. Height hit the ball out of bounds. Wake ball. So Wake can take the lead here. The field goal for Odom on this trip. There's the full court pressure. Watkins defending the ball on the inbounds pass. Over to Rutland now. Been a powerful second half comeback fueled by this man, number 21, Tim Duncan.
So they're very patient on offense. That's been a part of their game. They don't go for the juggler and bury it. They win like they've won their last 3 ACC games by 3.
They're leaving Woods alone at the line. Miss on the 3, but tracked down. Braswell in the right corner gives him a fresh 35.
See Prophet on a sideline foul trouble as well. They can use his athletic ability and transition ability. Patience and poise on offense usually leads to the 3rd P, points. The 3 Ps, patience,
they're slumping off Woods completely. What's something you do not do against Duncan. Now Woods bumps. Sends it over now to Braswell, and the ball has been turned over. As he banged into him.
What a high school team they had when they played together with Chris Carrawell down in St. Louis. He's got to get stronger, get in the weight room. He's a diaper dandy, one of the special freshmen.
Williams calls the play.
Abita with the screen and roll. They missed him.
Easy cut off on the baseline by Woods. Stays inside.
Big fella! Oh, big fella! Little dancing, a little jubilation. The play of the week, Abita Kesey. Oh my God, did you see that agility? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. He's the most improved player in America. Hold me back, Brett. Hold me back. What a move.
Misfiring. Rebound Watkins.
Hey, he could teach that to Hakeem. Hakeem couldn't do that. Oh, Bina.
59.
Did you see that move? I cannot believe it. I'm stunned.
All of a sudden. Back down to Sharunas. Comes up firing with that jade. Misses. Loose, and a foul's going to be on Wake. That's on Goolsby.
Take a look at this move. We're looking at this big fella split two guys, reverse layup. What agility. How would you like to try to match that in a game of horse? Shaking, baking, twisting, sliding, gliding. Oh, he's done it all, Obina. They didn't teach him that in Nigeria, I can tell you that.
7:07.
See, you don't see that in football. That's why this is the most agile, mobile. This is so beautiful. The emotion, the pageantry, the excitement, the Baryshnikov in shorts.
63-59.
What a phenomenal move. And right now, they've got to settle down, and it's time for Mr. Duncan to step it up again. See, I would go to Woods. Obina's got 4 fouls. I would go right at Obina, because he has become a factor here. They should try to get the 5th on Obina.
Watkins knocks it away from Duncan, almost forced the turnover. Back to Rutland. They get it back into Duncan. 10 in the lane, up with the shot, and got the roll. Duncan stayed with it. The crowd here, Nicole, wanted the 3-point violation. Williams working the official as he crosses over in front of him. 6:28, and the Terps are up a deuce. They get in low to Kesey, going again. This time Duncan wins. So Kesey did not
Look
make
at Duncan run.
move now as Braswell comes back down. Kesey was right there with him.
See, now you go right to Duncan. He's got a Kesey on him with 4, Brent. You can't check him with 4.
Woods on the other side with Watkins. He'll come on the inside, misses it, got it right back, battled for it, no whistle. Ball on the floor.
Oh, nice look.
Out to Watkins. Watkins in a foot race to the baseline and out of bounds.
They're just trying to steal minutes here with Booth on that sideline to get him rested for the stretch.
Kesey through 2, reverse on the 3rd. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station. Well, tomorrow night on ABC, Al Frank and Dan from Monday Night Football join Bob Saget for the year's greatest sports bloopers on America's Funniest Home Videos before live coverage of the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl in most of the country, right after the game on the West Coast tomorrow night on ABC.
Well, congratulations to the Cheeseheads and the Brett Favre and company. They really earned it as we watch Kesey. Taking a look at him spinning, all kinds of juke moves. There he is, sliding and gliding. I think that's one of the great moves I've seen this year. 6'9", 260. He couldn't do that last year. Look at the foul trouble right now. Profit with 4, Booth, Kesey, and Kavarak.
Loomis puts it down on the dribble, and there's another foul. Braswell. That would have counted, of course, in the NBA on the continuation, but here the whistle sounded.
Yeah, he got fouled prior to releasing the ball.
He's a nice-looking player.
What they have
Runas, yes,
They have a team that really plays
11 points a game, and he's also a very good assist man as he steps up there to the free throw line. It goes from Lithuania. Here's Kesey. Sits back down, saddled with 4 fouls. But Gary Williams will try to maneuver his personnel now on the floor because he's in serious foul trouble here.
Well, he's going to try to rotate to make sure he always has some experienced players on the floor and some guys on the sideline in case they foul out. This brings Profit in the game. Profit's well rested now. He's very quick in the press.
4-point lead and almost lost it. Good play by Rutland to knock it back to Duncan. Here's Duncan in low. Jump hook on the money.
Got that jump hook in the lane right in that 3-second area. No size to match up with them on the inside. It's an M&M'er mismatch.
20 points this half for Tim Duncan.
Gary Williams bring the Booth and a Kesey in. He can't wait. The last 5 minutes, winning time.
Lewis misfires into Duncan's hands. Wake gets close, and you get the feeling they're going to get up over the top, and then somehow Maryland will put together a stop and a little bit of a burst, and they'll maintain a 3 or a 4-point lead. But Wake now with another opportunity to tie.
When was the last time Wake had the lead? I mean, think about it. Wow.
6-5.
I knew you'd have it.
Terrell gives it to him again.
He can shoot the three. He's got to get more looks. Last year, he was the best three-point shooter in the ACC, only averaging 8 a game.
4.5, mark it down. Every trip now important. 66-65. Gary knows he's got to get Booth back on the floor. Stokes misses off the side, tracks it down, stays right with him to the right. Now he'll bring it back out.
Big possession right now. They're ready to bring Booth and Akese on the floor. You got to really credit the Wake kids, though, with the guts and heart to stay in this game after being down big.
Works the baseline, shoots it through to Elliott. And Maryland resumes the lead.
Rodney Elliott really gives him productivity off the bench.
Now Rutland for the three. Long rebound. Braswell quickly tracks it down, and now Rutland will go to the corner.
Papa should have got after that ball. I can't even hear you, Brent. It's so loud in here, I can't even hear you. Partner, it's unbelievable.
Braswell goes back. Underneath. Blocked. On the floor. So a timeout was called rather than lose the ball. There are no 20s left, so that's going to be a full timeout called here. 3.5 minutes to go, and the Terps lead it 67-66. Three and a half minutes to go in regulation, and Maryland clinging to a 1-point lead on Wake Forest, 67-66. There you can see from our game reset, Wake Forest, 1 timeout remaining, same as Maryland right now, and of course both teams are over the limit as far as fouls are concerned. The possession arrow favors Wake Forest, and the ball out of bounds. Wake Forest ball, down by a point.
I'll tell you, Tim Duncan has stepped it up second half. He had 1 for 4 he shot in the first half. He's got 24 now, 14 rebounds, showing why he's the classiest and best player in America. Easy checking on the inside now. Woods. He's got those 4 fouls. Booth's got 4.
Chasing Duncan.
They both got 4 fouls. They got to make them pay by going inside to the Twin Towers. They're both being checked by 2 guys with 4 fouls. Got to bring it into them. Got to bring them the rock and let them attack the basket.
Under 10 now, and Woods goes for that left hand again. Goes back, offensive putback, and missed it. Had an easy putback on the offensive rebound and got a little careless.
I'll tell you one thing, Akese's not backing down with 4 fouls, Brand, and that's really I'll make a coach very, very happy. A lot of times guys play matador defense. Booth wants the ball.
Got it on Duncan. Now Akese brings it out and sends it back now with the shot clock winding down toward 10. Booth works baseline. Out of bounds. And the officials confer, and Maryland gets the basketball.
And Gary's calling a play right here, calling a signal play. That's a special play. At least the officials got together and made the right call. Look at this, Tim Duncan 20, Maryland 22 at the half, second half.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Akese, Prophet knows he's got to come up firing. Missed. And Wake Forest with a rebound and another chance to take the lead.
Prophet's got to give him some offense here down the stretch. Remember, he made that big 3 to win the game out of Winston-Salem. What a great college environment. Great afternoon. 2 solid clubs going against each other.
Braswell takes it back from Rutland. Goes to the corner. There it is. Wake Forest regains the lead, 68-67.
Last time they were rated this high was back in '62 with Billy Packer and Lenny Chappell. Bones McKinney was the coach. We sent our best to Bones, recovering right now from an illness. Skip pass, good skip pass. Booth.
Rebound Wake Forest. Rutland, who put them ahead with the field goal, winds up with the rebound. Strong play now by the point man of Wake Forest at both ends. Demon Deacons up 1. Minute and a half to go.
Crowd getting into it, trying to give a lift defensively. Davey Odom sees game after game like this.
Corral coming in. The J misses. Loose. Rebound, and Woods will bring it out. A fresh 35. Smart move by the freshman.
Playing a little volleyball inside with that great size. You got 6'11", 7 feet, 6'10". Look at this little one-on-one. He wants to take a one-on-one.
It's the Kesey going to the glass.
Oh,
He's got it. No foul called on that one. 70-67. It's a 3 and down to a minute.
What a great play by Duncan. A little one-on-one. And that's what you want a PT peer to do, baby. Want the ball with the game on the line.
Now someone from Maryland needs to stand up here at the other end. Stokes will gun the 3 from way out. Rebound, Wake Forest, knocked out of bounds. 2 of them went for it, and it's a Maryland ball. Woods would have had an easy rebound, I think, if they'd have left him alone under there.
Look at this move right here. Gets in a little single one-on-one move. There's the spin on the baseline. Oh, he's going to be tough to defend when he goes to the next level.
But a break for the Terps at the other end. 45.5 seconds remaining. Timeout.
Payne Weber College Basketball on ABC and Raycom Sports. Brought to you by Payne Weber. When you invest with Payne Weber, you invest with more intelligence. U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all you can be. Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. And State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Inbounds pass now from Maryland, trailing 70-67 at Kesey, the big man. Left hand, it's a 1-point game, 41.6. Now the ball, give it back down to Rutland and over to Duncan.
Great play by
the ball, and there's the foul on Profit. And let's check, that's 5. Profit, he's gone.
Yeah, not a foul you wanted in the backcourt by Profit in that situation. But what about the move inside by Kesey? I'm going to tell you something. If you could show me someone that's improved as much as this kid, I mean, he has been really impressive. Watch him on the interior, number 54. I mean, there's no way he had that kind of movement last year. Great play, narrows it to 1. Some people probably wondering why he didn't go for the 3. You don't have to go for the 3 there.
Wake Forest up 1 with Tim Duncan. The senior coming to the free throw line.
Had a sensational second half here.
He's 8 of 11.
If there's one area,
free throw line.
He's a 67% shooter though on the line. 8 for 11 today. So he's not automatic, Brent.
Now comes the second one, which is extremely important here at the 36-second mark. There it is. Now, a 3 would beat them, but a 2 would tie them and get them into overtime. That was a very, very huge free throw for Tim Duncan. As Maryland comes back down, Booth will go underneath. Well, Duncan will track him now.
Basically, Brent, you want to be able to take the 2-point shot unless the 3 is available. You don't have to think 3.
They bounce on in low now, and here's Booth. Duncan right there with him. Duncan stays with him. Remember, Profit beat him, and he's not there, but it was a Booth assist. Duncan is going to take Booth now. Booth puts it down, gets by him, goes to the glass. Duncan wraps it up, and the foul has been called as Duncan hit the glass and wrapped up the rebound.
They try to go one-on-one with Booth in a one-on-one situation, isolating him. He wanted to take him one-on-one against.
He got around him, Dick.
Well, he gets around him a little front change. Right now, but there's rotation. There's help. See, everybody was able to see the movement coming. You were hoping maybe the weak side rebounder would get the ball. But this game is still not over.
Shot clock is turned off because we have only 8.1 seconds remaining now with Duncan at the free throw line. Wake Forest is up 2, 71-69.
He's got to be able to convert both to end this right here. He misses one and they come back. Maryland's got a chance to go to OT. He makes both. He got a 2-possession game and this baby's over.
Now here's the game. For the ball game.
Here's the game right here. He makes this, lights out, the party's over, and a great comeback again. We talked about the character of Wake. He misses it. Maryland's got a shot with the 3-point shot.
He's got it.
It's over.
That is a 8.1 seconds remaining as Wake Forest will set its defense. Good timeout has been called by Odom. Kerry Williams has fired away, but he's in trouble now. And Dick, the crowd thought that Booth was fouled, and so did the Maryland bench. Your feelings about Duncan now trailing Booth here?
Well, here's the drive. There's the rotation to help. I say an excellent no call. I don't think you make that call in that situation. I think the officials did a good job right there. But you got to quit it right now to Wake Forest kids. They're down big. It's amazing. I just looked it up. They beat Virginia by 4. They beat Clemson by 3. They beat Florida State by 3. Here they're in an unbelievable war all day. Davey Odom, how do you keep that here? It's going a little deeper back,
8
though.
seconds now.
You don't want to foul. You don't want to foul.
Bring it up. Can't foul. He's going to attack the glass. Comes in all the way. They've turned it over. Woods will dribble it to the corner. Fouled again. 1.3 remaining. This baby's history. This one's over.
What a great effort.
Wake Forest overcomes a 12-point deficit. And they have avenged their only loss of the year, and they did it the hard way.
There goes Stokes taking the ball in. He tries to initiate some contact to get fouled, but loses the basketball. You know, it's really amazing. What a great effort. They had a game plan that Gary Williams put together. They executed it to perfection to get the lead. Foul trouble hurt them big. But what a gutty club. Both these clubs are really outstanding basketball teams. Certainly legitimate top 10 teams in the country.
And the freshman, with many in the crowd now, headed for the exit. Woods will try to put a final period up here.
But he showed that he's going to be a special player, this kid Woods. I'll tell you, very agile inside. He's got the great size. He and Duncan really, what a great situation for Woods to learn with somebody like Duncan at his side.
74-69. Wake Forest wins it by 5 points. That's the final margin here in this one. So Wake Forest and Maryland split 2 tough games this year, each of them winning on the road. John Saunders coming your way next here on ABC.